The archive chamber hummed with ancient energy, its walls lined with crystalline data cores that predated the Galactic Council by millennia. Anna's fingers danced across the holographic interface, her breath catching as another fragment of precursor history materialized before them. "This is incredible," she whispered, her eyes reflecting the blue-white glow of the projection. "Commander Roma, you need to see this." Roma moved closer, his military posture rigid despite the informal setting. 3 years they'd worked together on this archaeological expedition, and Anna had learned to read the subtle shifts in his expression. Right now, those dark eyes held something she couldn't quite identify. Wariness, perhaps, or recognition. The footage began to play. It showed a battlefield unlike anything in recorded history. The sky burned with colors that shouldn't exist, reality itself seeming to tear at the seams. Thousands of Precursor Warriors stood in formation, their biomechanical armor pulsing with power that made modern weapons look like children's toys. They faced something beyond the frame, something that had caused even these ancient gods of war to marshal their forces. "The Void Incursion," Anna breathed, referencing the mythical event that had supposedly ended the Precursor civilization. "This is actual footage of—" She stopped. One warrior had stepped forward from the ranks. The armor was different. Where the others wore the standard silver and gold plating, this one's suit was midnight black, streaked with patterns that resembled human neural pathways. The design was wrong somehow, too organic, too familiar. And the weapon it carried wasn't precursor technology at all. "That's a human rifle," Anna said slowly. "A Terran Marine Corps XR-77, but that's impossible. This footage is over 50,000 years old. Humans were still in caves when—" "Mute it." Roma's voice cut through her words like a blade. 2 syllables, quiet and absolute. Anna turned to look at him. His face had gone pale, jaw clenched so tight she could see the muscle jumping beneath his skin. His hands that had remained steady through combat drops and spacewalks, trembled slightly. "Roma?" "Mute the footage," he repeated, softer now, almost pleading. "I don't like hearing myself." The words hung in the air between them like a suspended sentence. Anna's mind raced, rejecting the implication even as the evidence played out before her eyes. She looked back at the projection. At the black-armored warrior who stood at the front of an army from before human civilization existed. The warrior's helmet retracted. Anna's hand flew to her mouth. The face was human. Unmistakably, impossibly human. And more than that, it was Roma's face. Younger, perhaps, the eyes harder, the expression carved from granite and fury. But Roma's face nonetheless. "The temporal wars," Roma said quietly, his voice devoid of inflection. "That's what we called them. The precursors didn't fall to the void. They called us. Pulled humans from dozens of different time periods, from across our entire history. They needed something the other species couldn't provide." "What?" Anna managed to ask. "Adaptability, stubbornness, the sheer bloody-minded refusal to accept defeat." Roma's laugh was bitter. "Humans don't have the Precursors' technology or the Kavari's telepathy. We don't have the Thexer's armor or the Soltari's hive mind, but we have something that terrified even the Void." On the screen, the silent Roma raised his rifle. Behind him, 50,000 Precursor Warriors did the same with their weapons. The humans' lips moved, issuing commands no one in this room could hear. "We adapt," Roma continued. "Put a human in hell and they'll figure out how to weaponize the flames. Give them impossible odds and they'll rewrite the definition of possible. The Precursors learned that. The Void learned it too." Anna found her voice. "You survived. You're here, so the battle—" "We won." Roma's eyes never left the screen. 300 humans against an extra-dimensional horror that had devoured galaxies. We won because we were too stupid or too stubborn to understand we couldn't. And then he paused, and Anna saw the weight of millennia in his eyes. Then they sent us home, back to our own times. But temporal paradox is a tricky thing. Some of us bounced, skipped forward instead of backward. I went to sleep 50,000 years ago and woke up 1,000 years ago. I've been existing ever since. The footage showed the human warrior, Roma, charging forward. The Precursor army followed. Reality itself seemed to bend away from them, the impossible human leading the charge against the impossible threat. "Why didn't you tell anyone?" Anna asked. "Because I'm tired, Anna." Roma's voice cracked slightly. "I've fought in wars across 50,000 years. I've seen civilizations rise and fall. I've died and been resurrected more times than I can count because the Precursor's temporal anchoring won't let me stay dead. And I'm so tired of being humanity's weapon." Anna stepped closer, placing a hand on his arm. Through the fabric of his uniform, she could feel something, a faint pulse of energy that matched the patterns on the ancient armor. "You don't have to be a weapon," she said gently. "You can just be Roma, my friend, my colleague." For the first time since the footage began, Roma looked away from the screen. His eyes met hers, and in them she saw not the ancient warrior, but the man who brought her coffee during late-night research sessions, who made terrible jokes about alien archaeology, who blushed when she complimented his work. "Can I?" he asked. Anna smiled. "The war's over, Commander. You won. Now you get to decide what comes next." On the screen behind them, the silent army charged into legend. But in the quiet archive chamber, a warrior 50,000 years old took his first step toward peace.